We all know about stereotypical Tsundere Natsuki, alright? A lot of you guys seem to love her, or some of you guys seem to just think she's annoying, but we're gonna be talking about why she's actually not annoying. For all of you Monica fanboys out there, I'm gonna sit you down here, and I'm gonna force you to watch the Why Natsuki is Misunderstood Doki Doki Literature Club by the Juice Box. Alright, so let's get right into it.
Hey, you look nice today. And today, we're going to be talking about the bundle of cuteness that is Natsuki. And yes, I know she doesn't like it when we call her cute.
I know. I actually was watching a bit of this video before this, and it is crazy how much I feel like our videos are similar. I swear. I say this every time I talk about Natsuki, the whole don't call her cute thing. I'm glad I'm not the only one who does it.
But first, if you think Natsuki is best girl, then give this video a like. Seriously, I don't understand why so many people don't like her. She's super underrated.
Alright, so since I don't just want to steal their entire video, I'm gonna put my input in here on why I think Natsuki is disliked. Kinda she's stereotypical. 2, she's kinda like rude in the beginning of the game. She kinda just like acts like she's all too cool for school. 3, Monica better than Natsuki.
Get that she's abrasive and all, but once she warms up to you, you start to see the real meaning of what she's saying. Because just like all of these girls, and the characters that I analyze in this channel, there's more to her than you think. It's like how her poems work, which are cute on the outside, but typically have a deeper meaning.
That is actually a really good idea and way to think about Natsuki. Yeah, she is the stereotypical Tsundere character at first, and that's kind of how Dan Salvato intended the game to be like the stereotypical cliche visual novel game. As you get later into the game, you know, the game gets kind of dark, it takes a dark turn, and you'll start to realize what the actual meaning of Natsuki's poems are with, you know, her dad incident.
Super evident in her poems too, with just a little digging. I really like Amy likes spiders. On the surface, it looks like this poem is about Amy and how Nat really doesn't like her because, well, Natsuki just doesn't like spiders. She doesn't need a bunch of complex words to ensure the meaning comes across.
I remember they always talked about Natsuki having, you know, the simple poems, you know. Monica's up here, the president, you're writing like Stanford level writing. And then Natsuki's down here, out here writing the fox with socks who lived in a box or whatever, like some Dr. Seuss children book stuff. But I'm sure he's gonna get more into why Natsuki is more than a 6th grader.
No, see, Natsuki likes to use simpler language to convey more complicated subjects that pull at your heartstrings. It's something that's really important to her. What this poem is actually about is how a person can be so harshly judged over a single thing. In this case, liking spiders. In someone else's case, maybe it's playing dating simulators.
That's a pretty funny thing. You gotta check out this guy's channel when you're done watching this video, man.
But in her Cupcake Queen's case, it's reading manga. She's so heavily judged for her interest that the literature club is the only place she feels comfy reading it.
Alright, I know a lot of younger people are watching this video, and for all of you younger people, don't let people tell you what to do, alright? I mean, I guess I'm sure one to say I always hide the YouTube channel because, you know, my weightlifting bros find out that I'm making videos about this. Things aren't gonna go over very well. But you know what? You gotta pick friends that you know who trust you, just like I did.
But that wasn't always the case. In fact, when she first joined the club, Monica was pretty condescending when it came to asking her about her love for manga. She asked if there were any other types of literature she liked, and even discounted manga entirely.
Hey, manga is literature. Literally my freshman year, I can't believe we're going back to this. I'm sure I just like drove everybody away from this video. But the teacher actually allowed us to read manga.
If she had considered joining the anime club instead. Because of that, Natsuki didn't even share her love of poetry. This has caused her to more strongly defend those things she enjoys, being abrasive and snappy at those who discount her immediately.
I guess that kind of does lead into the backstory. You know, it does make sense. Natsuki's probably been judged for liking anime. I remember when anime was seen as like this taboo thing and, you know, only nerds would like anime. A lot has changed since then, at least here in the US. A lot of people just, well, are not very friendly. And I could see why Natsuki just gets kind of aggressive when people talk about manga or whatever, because she's afraid they're just immediately gonna jump the gun and start talking about why it's bad.
For each defensive behavior she has, though, there's a deep-rooted explanation for it, either from something she has experienced or still is experiencing in her life. This is Things I Like About Papa, one of the many special poems you can get by chance in your playthrough.
Just a quick thing, that's actually probably one of my favorite poems. I don't know, when I first played the game, it just kind of stuck with me.
It's written from Natsuki's perspective. It gives us a glimpse into Natsuki's world and what she could be dealing with at home. Take the time you need to read this, and pause if you need to.
Yeah, it kind of does explain a lot of stuff, like, you know, if you read through some of it, you can kind of explain a bit of the lore, which is what's really interesting about DDLC. While it's only like a 2-hour playthrough, I feel like there is so much lore packed into these poems, like just like this YouTuber right here is doing right now. If you truly unpack these poems, you get like freaking like 20 minutes of lore each poem, and it really builds upon the world, and that's kind of what got me confused on why was there never like a sequel. Or
I'm gonna go through some of the biggest examples of these behaviors and then talk about why they might be happening. Right off the bat, when Natsuki joins the club and introduces herself, Sayori excitedly says that she'll be happy to read something simpler when Natsuki mentions her manga because of all the complex fantasy she's been reading lately. But Natsuki gets super defensive about it, saying that manga isn't simple and that she just doesn't understand the nuance. Almost like she's used to her interests being disrespected and needs to put up a tough exterior because of it. It's referenced right in the main game when you're reading with her and she says she doesn't know what her dad would do if he found this. Even worse in Act 2 when she says that her dad would physically abuse her if he did.
yeah, we all gotta like take a moment and just like type whatever it is in the chat, the respect Natsuki, you know. She's been through so much. We all know about what happened to Sayori, you know, her depression. We've seen Yuri's, you know, addictive behaviors. And Monica is just a villain. But Natsuki, I mean, a lot of people just kind of brush her off as being like she's the annoying Tsundere character. Who cares about her? But, you know, she kind of does have a deep backstory. And, you know, if you kind of take time to think about it, you kind of do start to feel bad.
First, she pretends to be okay with it because it's just how things are. After all, who knows how long her family and friends have been treating her like this? But thankfully, later in the side story titled Self-Love... God, I love this side story, by the way. The waterworks were real when I was playing it. Natsuki discovers that allowing that behavior is against everything she stands for, and realizes what true friendship and respect look like.
Yeah, the power of friendship, man. Anime.
To return back to the start of the club, though, after Monica apologizes, she catches up with Natsuki and they go to the music room. Monica tells Natsuki that her feelings are valid and deserve to be heard and respected, but Natsuki hesitates before saying, "It's just really hard to feel that way sometimes." But when you're just criticized by everyone around you for being a certain way, it can get really hard to just brush it off. And it makes me start to feel like I'm the problem. Like I'm not doing enough to please everyone else. Am I being too entitled if I just want people to like me without me having to hide a bunch of stuff about myself? Again, just how long has she been fighting against that, refusing to change for others?
I like how he ties it back into quotes from the poem. I like it when Papa doesn't comment on my hobbies. If you're not going to say something positive about my YouTube channel, I'd rather you just not leave a comment at all. Very relatable, you know? I can see Natsuki going through this. I feel like I'm just restating everything he said, but I'm making a reaction video. What do you expect me to do? Yeah, it is true. She gets judged by her friends. Well, she referenced in the poem. She gets judged by her father. She gets judged by literally the members in the club. Maybe not the MC, since the MC had like 6 lines of dialogue the entire game. Natsuki has been judged a lot. Get this girl in the Planet Fitness judgment-free zone at this point.
Monica tells her that she wishes she could be just as strong as she was, and that she's so honest with herself. But Natsuki can't seem to fathom that she inspired Monica just by being herself. It's sad, but when you live in a difficult household, you perceive yourself as small as a coping mechanism.
Alright, so I don't want to just steal this guy's entire video. And there is still quite a bit left, so I highly recommend you guys check out the video. I'll have a link in the description for it if you want to check it out. And this guy also has a few other DDLC related videos. Yeah, this guy's content is very high quality, and it's a shame this person only has 11,000 subscribers. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.